The broadcast opened on my television without a channel number. Just a white bear standing in snow that didn't move, like a paused screen that refused to admit it was frozen. The timestamp read 2026, blinking once every second, patient and calm. I hadn't turned the TV on. The sound was almost nothing. A low hiss, like air leaking through teeth. I reached for the remote and found it warm, as if it had been used recently by someone else. The program title slid across the bottom in small gray letters, Ice Bear 2026. I remembered the rumor before I remembered the name. A late-night test transmission. A warning video. A joke that stopped being funny when people compared notes and realized the same details lined up. I watched because it felt rude not to. The bear didn't blink. Snow rested on its shoulders without melting. Behind it, a line of dark trees leaned away from the frame, as if the forest itself wanted to step back. Every minute, a tone sounded. Soft. Almost kind. My apartment was quiet in the way it gets when neighbors are asleep and the building is thinking about settling. I sat on the couch and matched my breathing to the tone, waiting for something to happen. Nothing did. The next morning, the TV was off. The remote was cold. I told myself it was a dream shaped by too much coffee and not enough sleep. Then my routine started to bend around the memory. At work, my screensaver flickered to white for half a second before returning to normal. On my phone, the time jumped forward and corrected itself. In the elevator mirror, I thought I saw frost at the edge of my hairline, but it was just the light. That night, the broadcast returned at the same minute. The bear was closer. Not closer to the camera, exactly. Just framed differently, as if someone had taken one careful step forward while I wasn't looking. The snow still didn't move. The trees were the same. The timestamp blinked. I noticed a detail I hadn't before. The bear's mouth was slightly open. The tone sounded again. Once per minute. Always the same length. I tried muting it. The volume icon slid down to 0, but the tone continued, faint and internal, like pressure in my ears. On the third night, the bear blinked. Just once. Slow. Deliberate. The kind of blink that feels like a decision. I laughed, a short sound that didn't go anywhere. The apartment swallowed it. I sat forward, elbows on my knees, suddenly aware of how dark the corners of the room were. A line of text appeared beneath the timestamp. You are ahead of schedule. It vanished before I could read it twice. I didn't sleep after that. I watched the reflection of the TV in the window, half expecting to see the bear standing behind me in the glass. Nothing happened. The tone sounded. The bear breathed. I started to notice the smallest movements, a shift of weight, a subtle tilt of the head, the suggestion of warmth fogging the air in front of its mouth. On the fifth night, my power went out. The TV stayed on. The image sharpened. The snow looked granular, real. I could see individual clumps pressed into the bear's fur. The timestamp blinked brighter. The tone stopped. In the silence, I heard something else. A low, distant cracking sound, like ice under pressure. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. The bear looked past the camera. Behind it, the trees parted just enough to suggest depth where there hadn't been any before. Darkness pulled there, thick and waiting. Text appeared again, steady this time. This is where you stay. I reached for the power button on the TV itself. My hand hesitated inches from the screen. The glass radiated cold, sharp and immediate, like touching winter through a thin lie. The bear leaned forward. Not toward me. Toward the place where I would be if I stood up. I pulled my hand back. The image returned to its original framing. The snow settled. The trees leaned away again. When the power came back, the TV turned off. I didn't watch after that. I unplugged the set. I covered it with a blanket. I rearranged the room so the dark rectangle wouldn't be the first thing my eyes found. Time kept moving, but it felt provisional. Sometimes, late at night, my phone's screen will flash white for a second. Sometimes I hear a tone that isn't there. I've started dreaming of standing still in falling snow that never reaches the ground. In the dreams, I'm always on time, and something patient is learning how long I can stay that way.